Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Daytona office hours. As always, I'm gonna tell you about what we've done last week, about the releases, the issues, the future plans, and so on. So here's the repo. We recently reached 8K stars, so that's a big milestone that we are happy about. There has been 2 releases, I believe, since last Wednesday. So we went over the 26.1 version, and last Friday, I believe, we released 27.0. So let's just jump right in. Out of the features, we've created an add from sample option by Toma. I'm just gonna demo it real quick. If we run Daytona and select Daytona create, we can see simply there's a create from sample option that you can try, and that's just a bunch of default, let's say, template that you can use and just get a hang of Daytona, try it out. They're all using that container in the background. We've also updated head scale to version 23.0 beta 2. This version brings in a lot of stability in the network because there are some minor changes that would optimize the way the network's working, basically. So this one is very useful, especially in cases where someone has a poor internet connection. I added a -v or a -v flag. One time I just wrote in Daytona -v, so figured why not add that in, so there's no errors. And we've also got some custom installation loader in the install script. I believe I can demo this too right now. So basically, this is in regards to the quick start. So just paste in the curl request. I believe I can get rid of this part. And basically, this just, okay, so basically, you can see a nice downloader when you are running the quick start command. My server was already running in the other windows, so we can ignore that part. So thank you. I believe this was his first contribution. That's right. Vars Shift 257. Thanks a lot. We've had quite a bit of fixes as well. So here's a profile name validation update up until now by Tarun. Tarun has been with us for a long time, helping out with the contribution, so thanks a lot. Previously, there has been sort of an issue about the profiles only being able to take in alphanumeric characters, and now we allowed some dashes or underscores and similar characters to easily differentiate your profiles. So same regex as the one that's used in the workspaces. We refactored the output flag to accommodate selection in the TUI. This also brings in a breaking change that the flag was renamed from output to format because it feels like it makes more sense. So this was a lot of changes in this PR, and basically it lets you output whatever information you want from Daytona in the form of a JSON or a YAML format. So that is very useful. We've added cursor support, cursor IDE. It's gaining a lot of traction, and it's a great IDE, so you can use it inside of Daytona as well. There was a fix regarding GitLab SHA property was improperly parsed, so now the value is populated correctly. List of supported IDEs, I believe this means Daytona IDE help, Daytona code help. So right now, you used to only have VS Code and the browser, but now you can see all the options that you have, so it's easier to get started. So it's just check out the docs, and you can see what options you have for the IDE flag. Next up, there was some build deletion errors that I took care of. This is in regards to the pre-builds that we added in a version or two ago. And we've polished them quite a bit now, and they are pretty useful. So you should try setting up a project config and a pre-build and see how it helps with spinning up the development process. There was another quick fix for the log reading cancellation, and a minor chore by the Dependabot that's always useful. So take note of the breaking change, as I said, and some more notes telling you about the samples that I just demonstrated. In order to have the samples available in your environment, you have to add this URL to the server configure. So just run Daytona server configure and set it up. And as a part of this release, we've also added 2 new providers, AWS and DigitalOcean. These are the version 1s of these providers, so you can check them out, add your token, and try creating a workspace there. Other than that, we can go right on to the 28.0 version. New things here are the webhook event support for GitLab. So previously, as the first version of the pre-builds, we had support for GitHub because it's the most used. But of course, GitLab is right there. So we created a couple of bounties. I'm going to actually mention them a bit later. And we got a new contributor, Unsuman. So thanks a lot. His PR was actually bang on. We just merged it. I'm showing the wrong tab. So we just accepted all the changes. We had a small talk in the community Slack, and he quickly realized what the issue was about and solved it. So thanks again. There was a feature for uninteractive profile config creation. This just adds a couple of flags to enable you to add a profile config without going through the TUI, because some users might prefer that, or some users might create scripts for adding project configs. So this is something that we want to support. And there are a couple commands missing the uninteractive ability. So we will go ahead and add them in the future releases. And there might be some more bounties for that. Provider prefix option in the logs. As you can see here, previously the workspace term was used for every log outside of the concrete project options, but now we have a specific provider log that is in referring to, let's say, DigitalOcean or AWS logs, such as creating a droplet, starting the agent, and so on. Next up, we added a code flag to Daytona start. This is pretty useful. You just run Daytona start code, and then presumably the workspace is stopped, but then it will start and immediately code right into it. So it's a quicker way, a better UX, let's say. And there's a direct SSH access to local workspaces. And this was a great fix to our SSH approach, where we check if you are currently on a local environment and you're not using a remote profile, and we just SSH you directly to your workspace, and it basically eliminates all the delay that was previously there. Next up, we added the provider. Obviously, added the 2 new providers in the previous version, so it made sense to improve the UX of Daytona target set. So right now, as you can see here, you get an option of choosing a provider when you run Daytona target set, as always. But now you can see the not installed ones, let's say. And once you click on them, they will just get installed right away, so you can continue on with the other prompts, set up a target, and create your workspaces. There was a couple fixes regarding project configs, not too important. Fetching the correct image and user. This is a bug when creating a workspace from a project config. Windows style carriage returns is a fix that regards to running dev container in Windows. This was mostly relevant to our contributors. So it's a quick fix that uses Git attributes to make sure that the Windows carriage returns and line endings are handled properly in our SH scripts. We had a minor fix of the Git provider label, and we've added another actually new contributor, Aman23. He actually created an issue himself and then submitted a solution, so that's really great. He had issues with Daytona allowing him to choose a Docker host string or environment variable that he would send in, and he expected it to get parsed in the Daytona server or in the daemon, so that it would be used instead of the default location for Docker. And he went ahead and added a PR. 1 second. Right here. Should probably close all these tabs. So he added a PR. It's a quick fix, a couple of changes, and now it works, and we just released it yesterday. There was a workspace selection sort. I believe Nico noticed this, some discrepancy in the sorting approach when we use Daytona list and Daytona code. And obviously, it makes the most sense for the most recently updated or created workspaces to be listed first, to let the user get on with opening them. And there was a binary permissions issue. In the community Slack, we submitted a small issue that we realized that would stop you from creating a workspace. And it was in regarding to the permissions on the binary that will get served directly when you are on Linux on AMD. There was a Docker provider update or a new release. This one is pretty useful for people with slower internet connections. So myself included, I have let's say a below average internet speed. So when they're downloading a binary as a part of the workspace creation process, it can be a, so to speak, bottleneck, and it's pretty slow. But right now, when you are developing locally, it just happens right away because the binary just gets copied into your workspace. So thanks again to the new contributors. And to the 4 hearts that we are getting. Keep them up. So let's check out the PRs and the upcoming changes for the next release. As I said previously, and I'm just going to quickly go through them, we've created issues for a couple of the missing webhook event supports for Git providers. So get into them if you want. I believe GitLab, Azure, and Gitness are still open for grabbing. And of course, the Bitbucket and Bitbucket server if you are quick enough. So check them out, we would appreciate it. Other than that, we have a couple small fixes incoming. We have adding a workspace start prompt in Daytona code. I believe this is almost ready to be merged. Yeah, yes, I see Tarun has made the necessary changes. So this will allow you to just start up the project right away when you run Daytona SSH or Daytona code to make sure you don't have to exit out of the UI and then run the command again. So it just asks you to want to start a project if it was already started before. And we are also close to adding multi-profile support for Git providers. This will allow you to have 2 GitHub accounts, for example, and use both of them for different projects in Daytona. So this is something that we've been meaning to support, and it's going to be useful for many cases. So let's go quickly over the issues. There's been a couple new ones over the last week. So we found out a couple small UX issues, I believe, as well as a couple, let's say, suggestions. As for example, Daytona target set should be non-interactive. As I mentioned before, there are some commands that are missing this. So I think we're going to go ahead and bounty this and try to get some help from the community. And there's a couple more issues that are, let's say, less important. And I believe, yes, we've had a small refactor regarding some of the pre-built methods that are used. And for next Friday, we are going to probably take care of a couple of the PRs and merge them and release another version. So I believe that is it for this office hours. Of course, if you have any questions, you can let me know. And if you don't, you can just ping me in the community Slack later. And if you have any, by the way, if you have any feature requests or if you run into any bugs, we appreciate issues, just submit them. We will let you know our plans with it. You can also check out our roadmap to see if there are any long-term plans that we are working on. And that will basically be it. So thank you for coming. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.